growing our public hearings is not just talking about one project, but we'll have information on all the other projects in the region, and definitely F Street is part of that. In fact, there were some people there that had that, and then any of our F Street public hearings will also still have Neon and 95, but we think it's important because that some of the messages we've heard back is projects aren't individual with sides around them. They are encompassing to the whole valley. So any opportunity, all our public hearings will have other projects that will be showcased there as well.
Which I thought was a good idea, because you showed the interconnectivity then, and too often we only think about one neighborhood, and it's far-reaching. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
And thank you again, the ABC and Dove dishwashing lotion. Dawn. The burning question, obviously, is to Councilman Hafen. Would you like to show the audience your smooth hands now? Very nice.
Is this on? I would like to say thank you to RTC and Nevada Department of Transportation for the funding. It's going to be a great project, and it will. I was not a roundabout guy, but I am now. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. We now go to item 4, which is your first citizens participation agenda item.
If there's anyone in the audience wishing to speak on a specific agenda item, please step forward, state your name for the record. And those that want to speak during this comment period or at the end of the meeting, you're welcome to fill out our cards. Good morning.
Good morning. This is not an agendized item, but my name is Erin Breen. I am the director of UNLV's Safe Community Partnership. I chair the Bus Stop and Bench Advisory Committee for the RTC. I also chair the Pedestrian Committee for the Strategic Highway Safety Plan, which is one of the critical emphasis areas. But today I'm here to do something a little different. I think very often during citizen participation is when you hear people complain about things that happen in an organization. And today I'm here to do quite the opposite. I'm here today to recognize one of the members of the RTC and her dedication outside of her duties, general duties and her job description, and that is Deputy General Manager Tina Quigley. So it is. She's such a lovely person. It was no surprise when Susan said at the bridge building that Tina came out, because Tina comes out to lots of things. But aside from her duties at the RTC, I want to recognize, especially as an educator, the things that Tina does for education in the state of Nevada, and particularly Clark County. So pardon me for reading, but I don't want to miss anything. I'd like to personally thank Tina as a leader in our community for what she's doing beyond her RTC-related duties to enhance the lives and develop future leaders through championing education funding equality for our Southern Nevada children. Tina is a dynamic community organizer for educational funding. During the last legislative session, she took her kids up to Carson City to testify at an education budget cut hearing. Nothing works quite as well as children, as we all know. Tina has organized a parent advocacy group with community leaders so that Clark County has a voice regarding educational legislative issues as Northern Nevada and the rural areas do. Tina is a past member of the Nevada Women's Philanthropy, a group who was instrumental in dispersing more than $350,000 worth of grant funding to schools and community organizations throughout the Las Vegas Valley. She is a member of United Way of Southern Nevada Women's Leadership Council, which is near and dear to my heart, who strengthens the social landscape by engaging female leaders to inspire others in taking action, creating long-term change in the community through early education, access to health care, and financial stability. Tina volunteers with the Clark County School District and is helping to develop their Safe Routes to School program, and is an advocate for pedestrian safety. I can personally say I've been a street walker with Tina Quigley for Safe Routes to School. She's on the leadership committee for the Southern Nevada Health District's Obesity and Prevention Program, which also works hand in hand with Safe Routes to School and helps to fund some critical programs that are much needed in our community, all of them encouraging parents to drive less and have their children use alternative forms of transportation, which of course is near and dear to all of our hearts. She's an active member of the Frank Lamping Elementary School Parent-Teacher Association. Just as an example of the things that she does with RTC, we have a big community-wide event this weekend to raise hopefully some funds to help buy pedestrian lighting, and our first one would be deployed where Mia Decker was killed in North Las Vegas. Tina's jumping in to speak at a press conference tomorrow. RTC is coming to help in that event over the weekend. And I just applaud you for your leadership, the RTC for what they do for the community. But Tina, on behalf of all parents in the Southern Nevada community, thank you for your passion, your commitment, and your steadfast efforts to help the future, our children. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time today.
Oh, wait, no, I just want to say that I'm so touched, because I think, when I think of assets to our community, community advocates, leaders in our community, I think of Aaron Breen. So to hear you say those words, Aaron, it mean a lot. Thank you very much.
Erin, thank you very much. Dr. Fred, you have a little competition here on the staff. All right.
Can't
We have
compete.
It's because we're celebrating Girls' Day out, too.
Jose on item number 33.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jose Mendoza Jr.,
Oh, I'm
President
sorry.
Business.
Sir, could I just say?
I apologize.
That's all right.
Councilwoman, please.
I just wanted to say, you've done such a great job working with that Safe Routes to School. And the very first beautification of the whole thing with the Safe Routes to School is almost completed. It's beginning on Alta. It will eventually go down all the way to Sahara on Valley View. And if anybody goes by Alta and Valley View now, they'll see that expanded sidewalk for the multi-use, and they'll see that it will go up there to Hyde Park, circle that, then go around and circle the schools. So it's a big beginning for all of us. And it's because a whole lot of people like you have worked together on it. Thank you.
And you, Councilwoman, that's been a passion of yours, so we appreciate that. Jose.
Jose Mendoza Jr., President Business Agent for ATU Local 1637. I'm here today to address a concern that we sent a letter to Mr. Jacob Snow regarding the splitting of the system, which was discussed on the last meeting. Our treasurer did turn in a letter of concern on behalf of the local, and I want to issue another letter to you guys for your records that we sent to Mr. Jacob Snow. And this is, of course, the main concern is that we represent almost 1,000 employees under the bargaining unit, and the discussion of splitting the system is, we're very concerned. Perhaps the commissioners should look at it in another way and keep the system the way it is right now, not to split the system. I do want to say, though, that a couple of years ago, before I took office, this local here was a possible on a vote for decertification. It has been brought to my attention that a couple commissioners were present at a union meeting. My understanding, I think it was a Teamsters Hall. I don't know who they were, but it's been brought to my attention. And if there is going to be a vote here on the splitting of the system, we ask that those two commissioners that were at the meeting to exempt themselves, because then there will be a bias. And I just wanted to relay that to the commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Patricia?
Yes, good morning. I'm Patricia Anderson. I have some things that I would like to address. Number one, the ASCO line, I feel that needs to be a fare box. People feel it's a free bus, and they look to see if there's a specter on the bus. If there is one off, they jump off. And I feel it's not right. Number two, the Charleston line, the new Charleston bus, if anybody's been on there lately, we need express and local. They have a lot of wheelchairs because it's a hospital and everything. I feel that you should have express and a local bus, and so far as people are concerned. The people eating on the bus, they're very bold. And I mean, I notice a lot. The reduced card that everybody have, reduced card, and you pay your $30, what have you, with it. People go there and they say that they're sick. They're not sick, and they're riding free. That should stop, because it's not a fair situation to be done. Well, I should try to bring back the 213. I know it's that's a bus down on Penwood. I live near Penwood. I live in Decatur and Penwood. So I think the 213 bus should come back. But again, because that's a long walk. If you want to walk down, if you have to walk to Clark High School, whatever the case is, you know, whatever, it should be back. But again, it's not, I know enough, wasn't enough riderships, and that's why you had to take it away. I understand that. You need one bus. I don't know if you would, it's not that many. There's people that are complaining about Mountain Edge. They would like to need a bus up there. If a bus could go up and up maybe till midnight, maybe 11 o'clock. Because there are people that live up there, and a few friends that live up there. And I would like to see them, but, you know, you don't have a bus. So these are the situations back. And I was also wondering about the 207. I know you're going to take the 207 away, but the 207 is people are complaining that they really need that bus because people are down in that area. So I don't know if you can or not. But as I say again, I just want to, I'm not going to take up any more time, but these are suggestions that I was bringing to things like that is concerned. We need the people that are taking advantage of the system. Their bus pass has expired, and I want a free ride. Well, 55 or 60 of us are on the bus, and we all paid. So it's not fair. Okay? Take care.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on an agenda item?
Is this about the 207 bus? I'd like to say a few words if I can.
Please. If you could just step up to the mic and give us your name for the record.
Well, my name is Stan Bobrovsky, and I live at 5000 West Alta, apartment 211. And I belong to Our Lady of Las Vegas Parish. I go there every day. And if they cancel a 207 bus, it's going to create a big problem, not only for me, but for many other people. Now, every day that I take the 207 bus, there's quite a few people that take the bus that go to the hospital, to the doctor's offices that are in this area over here. These are all elderly people that live at Jamestown Towers, and they use these buses continuously. I met with some of the people and talked to them on the phone as to why they are canceling this. Now, they gave me some answers which I am not happy with, because I don't think they use the right principles in budgeting for the buses over here, for the different lines and so forth. I would like to know if any independent organization has come through and has acknowledged that what they have come together on all these practices of canceling, whether or not they are valid or not. My feeling is that what they are using as a system to come up with what is valid as what should be is not correct. Many years ago, I worked on budgets and financial things and so forth and so on, so I know a little bit about finance. Now, the other thing that I see also is the fact that if you cancel the 207, you will be canceling the possibility of a lot of people going directly to the doctor's offices. Now, in my opinion, canceling the possibility of one person not being able to get to the doctor directly is worse than canceling even the 207 bus, because of the fact that 207 bus is there to help the people. And I think everybody forgets what is there to help the people and what is there from a financial standpoint. I have talked to these people from a financial standpoint, and I'm not satisfied with what their answers are, personally. I think that at this point that you people, or whoever you have that is cognizant of the whole situation, should be able to take this into consideration. What is valid, what is invalid, because to help out one person to get to a doctor's office might be worth one passenger, or worth the dollars that are spent for the bus for that person to get there. Of course, they have buses that go there. You could get a bus for $30 a month or something like that, and you could get to the doctor's office. But that's another, because there's more people that could possibly use this bus than are using. Everybody's afraid of this. I am myself. I would appreciate very much if you people would not vote on this or anything else. I didn't know that. I came to this meeting today because I heard there was a meeting but I did not know what the meeting was about, so I came over here.
And we appreciate your coming down and your comments. If we could have, Jacob, someone meet with this gentleman, and I think he's had some dialogue, but let's see if we can provide some either additional information or some options for the specific
I wanted to
issues.
meet with Mr. Snow, but for some reason or other, every time I called, he was busy. And
Okay,
I
well,
think
if-
any person like that, Mr. Snow is not that busy that he can't
Are you,
talk to a
sir,
citizen.
are you able to stay for a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, if
I'd
you
be glad to.
could, right after the meeting, we'll set you up with some key staff members.
Okay, thank you for listening to me.
And thank you for coming down.
And Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman.
Mr. Brodsky, I just wanted to tell you that we have been working through the city trying to make amendments to what has been put out already on Route 207. You're very, very right in that between where you are and a few blocks down, it'll be a really horrendous situation for some of the seniors needing to get places. But Mr. Snow has met with us, his staff has met with us more than once, and we are trying to work it out. I just want you to know we are working on it. It's not an easy thing to do. The problem we have is that staff sort of thought that some of the senior citizens could go over to the Charleston line, and they really can't. You can't in a wheelchair go from Alta to Charleston very easily, and with a walker. But I just wanted to let you know that Mr. Snow and his staff have been working with us diligently, and we are trying to work that out, to put, if we take away the route, to leave in something or add something else that will take care of that particular area on Route 207. So I wanted to let you know that.
Thank you. Commissioner?
I just want to, it was James, how? Jamestown, okay. And I think this is one of the half-mile routes that we're looking at, correct? Okay. And so I think that there's a legitimate reason, but I think Councilwoman's correct. We've got quite a few seniors in that area, so we're talking about other accommodations, such as you mentioned, a nonprofit group that also provides transportation, Silver Star, and some other things to be able to accommodate that if that's the direction that we go.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to say for the record that I speak with concerned citizens on a regular basis, and this is the first I have been made aware that this gentleman has been trying to contact me. I will make myself available to meet with him. Personally, I'm not satisfied with the financial information that I have been presented with, but I certainly am satisfied that it is accurate, and we are indeed in a dire situation. And I do know the methodology that was chosen. I'll be happy to explain that to the gentleman. And we'll be happy to move forward with what we can for potential resolutions to this problem, because there are viable alternatives.
Very good, thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to the board under this first public comment period? Seeing none, close the public comment period, move on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. The next portion of your agenda is to consider the consent agenda, which is made up of items 5 through 31.
Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We now go to item 32, and that item will be introduced by Jerry Keating.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. Item 32 is to approve the recommendation of the Evaluation Committee regarding the performance of the General Manager for the period of January 1, 2011 through December 31st, 2011. Mr. Chairman, on November 10th, 2011, the Regional Transportation Commission appointed RTC board members, yourself, Mr. Chairman, Larry Brown, Chris June Kiliani, Deborah Marsh, and Roger Tobler to the Evaluation Committee. The purpose of this committee was to review the performance of the General Manager. The committee met on January 12, 2012, reviewed the performance of the General Manager, provided guidance for the next evaluation period, and made a recommendation not to adjust the General Manager's compensation.
And that is your report.
This item is for your possible action.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to point out that as one last thing to present to the Commission is that I had the good sense and wisdom to hire Tina Quigley as Deputy General Manager. I'm going to take credit for that, so thank you.
Those members of the Evaluation Committee, comments or Councilwoman?
Thank you. I'd like to compliment Jacob and all of the staff of the RTC for their strong leadership in the community. This is by far one of the leading agencies and examples of collaboration and cooperation across community of any agency. And the work that you do with all of our municipalities in the county and our public works departments is exemplary. And, you know, seeing the expansion of services and no doubt seeing some cuts as well. I know it's always done with great thought and consideration, and I know we've had some challenges this last year with contracts and budgets and things. But you know, with a lot of money, we can do a lot of things. But we have a limited amount of money. We have to work within the constraints that we have. And I see you as being very aware and cognizant of all of the needs and trying to balance all of those needs. And I must say that when I come to the RTC office, the collaboration and the collegiality that I see amongst all of your staff is just exceptional. And I want to thank you for your leadership fiscally, with your human resources and with your staff, and working and cooperating with all of our municipalities is very much appreciated. And as I said with Gail Frazier, in the future, I'd like to see you all working with the SNRPC on this sustainability grant that we've received from the federal government that allows us to really create a system and a database that allows us to make better decisions as elected officials, because you're overlaying good information. And I think that the information that the RTC is working with is so critical to that mapping. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Commissioner G?
Thank you. Again, echo those comments, but also I think the fact that you're an urban planner helps us have a better vision for what this valley should be as far as transportation, and I think that's a better blend that we probably never looked at organizationally here. And I think I say that because you have to look at how people live, work, and play in order to be able to accommodate them. You put up with my weird emails from time to time about, oh, I was here and I saw this or whatever, so I appreciate that. I did talk to Dennis Cedarberg. We haven't found a street yet in the county, because I did offer this in our minutes at our last meeting, where we can do the sidewalk, stripe, bicycle parking, but he's going to actually, we have a project coming in on a resurfacing on Twain, so they're going to do a different type of a bike accommodation with some potential reflectors along it to see how that might work on some of our arterials where they don't have parking any longer. So at least you're helping us to think a little bit out of the box as far as that's concerned. I think your staff is wonderful. They enjoy what they're doing. Therefore, they have more of a team approach to how you govern and manage, and I think that that's very healthy. And despite what this gentleman said, my constituents have always had access to not only you, but your staff on anything to do with RTC. So I would have to take issue that you didn't call. Sometimes we may not, because we go back and find out if somebody's an actual constituent, and that's who you respond to first, and then you work your way down the line. You do attempt to reach out to those folks. But I think that you've been very responsive, as well as your staff, and that speaks well of you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mayor Tobler.
I agree with what's been said. You do a great job, and you balance all of our needs very well, and I think that says a lot, because that would be a very difficult job trying to balance everything in Clark County, but you are there for us, so thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to echo the comments from NDOT. One of the things that I really enjoy is the relationship that we have with RTC, and that we talk about things. We may not always agree, but we have a really good open door, and I think that's what has helped make transportation successful in Southern Nevada. And so I just continue to, or just love the partnerships that we have. So thank you.
Thank you. I think the evaluation and the comments today, Jacob, reflect well not only on you, but certainly the organization. The ability to work with this board and certainly the member agencies is a model The RTC has been such a success story as far as the regional approach to addressing so many issues and so many challenges. Your performance and the accomplishments this year are well documented, and I would echo the comments as far as you're doing a great job. I would note also, as part of a motion, that Jacob has not asked for any compensation. It's going to remain the same, despite the fact, statistically, and we went and asked for Jerry to take a look at comparisons, not so much in Valley, but nationwide, to similar organizations. And there's no question that Mr. Snow is probably underpaid compared to what industry pays their general managers, and not just for a transit system, but for the MPO and all the other duties that you have. So although you are underpaid by industry standards, we appreciate your willingness to move forward without any adjustment to the compensation. And again, you're a great leader, and leadership is often reflected by those around you. We heard today about Tina, but there's so many key players at the RTC, from the senior management right down to those folks that are working the phones day in and day out. It's a pleasure to be on this board, to be part of this organization, and Jacob, that's, again, a direct reflection on you.
Thank you.
So we would, I would entertain a motion to accept the performance evaluation and no adjustment to the general manager's salary. So moved. Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. We have a great staff here, and they prop me up every day, and it's a good thing. I appreciate the opportunity to work for the commission. Your next item is item 33, and that's that the RTC receive a report on the contract extension for our fixed route transit services with Veolia Transportation. And you can give us direction on this item, but I'm pleased to come back to the commission report that for the past month we have been meeting with Veolia and negotiating what would be roughly a one-year contract extension, and that is per the direction that we received at your last meeting. And I'm pleased to report that the price that we're in the process of negotiating with Veolia to bring back an actual contract amendment to you next month will be almost exactly the same price that the RTC incurred for 2011. The terms are essentially the same. And I think that is the most reasonable and the best approach that we can take at this point in time. And we'd love to receive your direction as we go forward with that contract. I will also note parenthetically that we have been meeting with several interested contractors who are interested in proposing on your fixed route contract for one of the two portions of that contract, since it will be, we've received direction from the commission to split that as part of the settlement agreement. We've met with a company that would be new to you called Keolis. They are an international transportation conglomerate firm. They're headquartered in France, and they are a company that would be similar to the international firm of Veolia, similar to international firm of First Transit. First Transit's coming in to meet with us this afternoon. And we also have an appointment scheduled with McDonald Transit, which is a domestic company based in Texas. We also expect to be meeting with a company called MV Transportation, and there may be others as well. A lot of interest, especially since the commission has decided to split this contract into two contract items. And we are comfortable with the direction that we have been going with our negotiations with Veolia, and if you direct us to do so, we'd be happy to bring back the contract amendment next month for approximately a one-year contract extension at essentially the same terms that we have had with Veolia in the past. And Zev, is there, Tina, anything else you'd like to add to those negotiations?
I think the negotiations went well. I think we've come to a good conclusion on behalf of the commission and the community. Actually, details, we've changed the rate structure in agreement with Veolia, so it's actually, I think, gives greater flexibility for the RTC for deployment of the fleet, which should be of some benefit to us from utilization of our fleet and maintenance costs going forward. And based on the preliminary numbers, there's actually, I mean, it's very small in relative terms to the size of the contract, but it's actually about a $2,000 a year reduction in the cost going forward.
So we'd anticipate that at next month with the details?
Yes, we should have that amendment back to you for final approval at next month's meeting. There are no outstanding issues between the parties at this time. So we're pleased with the outcome and the recommendation. One other clarification, Jacob mentioned McDonald Transit out of Fort Worth, Texas. They are actually 51% owned now by RATP, which is a French company. It's actually the Paris government, and it's their privatized arm. They run all the Paris transportation systems, but they have a privatized arm that does similar services, Veolia and the others around the world also. So,
Good. Entertain a motion.
Move approval to accept the extension.
And that will be brought back at next month's meeting. Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Jake, let me take this opportunity just to alert the vice chair. I will not be attending next month's meeting. I will be heading to Fort Benning, Georgia, to, knock on wood, celebrate my son's graduation from basic training with the United States Army. So. I hope that's for my son and not that I'm not going to be here. So, thank you. I'm embarrassed. Thank you. Commissioner.
Lev, I neglected on the, when we adopted Jacob's contract, did we not also talk in that committee about the same kind of language that we did with Mr. Frazier with regard to the non-renewal piece?
That actually was not discussed, but
okay.
It's, I heard that conversation during the flood control meeting. Just for your information, Jacob's contract is set to renew. The 90-day notice requirement, I believe, is around April 1st of this year, and it will renew effective July 1st of this year.
So maybe just for consistency's sake, Mr. Chair, we could have Lev do a little bit more background and then come back and brief the board members for a potential discussion. What we're trying to do is just not have automatic renewals for folks and then have time certain, but there's different ways to accommodate that change.
Right, and just, I know what's happened within the community, obviously I've heard, but the history here has been every year Jacob's had an annual evaluation,
right.
unlike
Which is
what's
very
happened.
different than many of the
Right,
others.
right.
This was one of the few where we actually had evaluations of our staff, heaven forbid. Right. So, I mean, that was not to be seen as a criticism. Actually, this one's been far more proactive. But as we're looking at that, we probably should be consistent. So, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, your next item is item 34, and that's the Regional Transportation Commission discuss confidential matters related to the Service Employees International Union contract negotiations with management. And per Nevada revised statute, this item may be closed to the public.
Let me ask this. Zeb, are we allowed to have our final public comment period and then go into closed session?
Actually, I believe you could close the meeting because this is not even subject to an open meeting under Nevada law. So
but
we put it on the agenda and said we could close the meeting to do so. But the reality is, legally, you don't even have to have this as part of your meeting. So you could proceed in whichever way you want.
Just so if there is someone wishing to speak during that comment period, they come up now and not have to wait for our closed session.
If you'd like, we can have item 35 now. Is that what the
Any
Commission would like to
problems
do?
from the board? Okay, let's do that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your next item, item 35, will be your second citizens' participation public comment period.
And is there anyone else wishing to speak to the board this morning? Seeing no one, we'll close the public comment period. And back to item number 34. I think we'll need a motion to go into closed session. Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries.